achievement as the suzerain's territorial administrator. You could continue your efforts to win the hearts of your worker tokens by building the rarely attempted public education system for your territories. Alternatively, you could actually try to win the game by building the extremely... The choice is yours. There's a reason very few players ever attempt to build a public education system for their worker tokens. It's your boondoggle nearly bankrupts the suzerain.
Ouch.
The lieutenant opens his mouth as if to issue a blistering retort, then hesitates.
You know, detective, there's something admirable about that, in its own way. Now, let's tally up the scores.
Computing the final scores is almost a game unto itself. After double the -5 victory points, you'll be lucky if the suzerain doesn't have your whole family executed for some.
I've got 20 points. Well, there's always next time. Figuratively, I mean. There's no way we have time to play this game. Now, let's clean up.
You hold the open game box before you. Large letters on the front form a title, Wirral. The colorful box is illustrated with bucolic vistas. The cover art also features odd-looking humanoids, some short, some taller, some with pointy ears. Text underneath the title in smaller typeface reads, 3rd edition, Mega Setting Supplements Module. The side panel adds, a sword and sorcery adventure board game with new map. Mysterious things rattle inside. What could they be? Dice? Plastic miniatures? A fantastical alternate world full of none of that witless man from Hyondal, fascist dross, hidden behind faux realistic allegory. Wirral is no cliche-ridden apologia for colonial violence. Wirral is pure imagination. Yes, the Wirral setting is known for its complicated system of political alignments. But if you're not into that, you can just... A blurb on the back reads, tired of the tedium and toil of modern life? Escape to Wirral. Leave behind e-solas and nations with their petty squabbles. Discard electricity, magnets, and boring technological widgets. Succumb to a world of high pasternal fantastique. Unleash your imagination and create an adventure of endless possibilities. Discover the terrible secret threatening Wirral. Can your band of adventurers save the world? Man up. This is about having structured fun. All you have to do is read an intricate rulebook, study an assortment of maps. In no time, you could be romping through grasslands with low-level characters, hunted by Iskalar. Don't forget heated arguments escalating to physical conflict. And most importantly, never forget to rage quit if the dice don't go your way. You pry open the box. Inside you find a folded up map, a small booklet, a 24-sided die, and a little plastic figurine. A reprint of a crude hand-drawn map. The top left corner reads, Lands of Wirral. The map features both small villages and mid-sized towns with odd names. In addition to meadows, it doesn't seem to correspond with anything you've seen thus far. It's not a very helpful map. A quick guide to the magical races of Wirral. Create your own hero, choosing from any of these completely unique and fantastical backgrounds. The options are in order of importance. The Welkin, the Tweog, the humans, the fairy folk. The Welkin, tall, lithe, and graceful. The Welkin come with a variety of exciting sub-races. High, a grand race of industrious mountain people. They're short, stout, and muscular. And in the Tweog also come in a few different sub-races. They're just humans. What else is there to tell? They're average in all stats, and a very small race of flying people. No, the least popular of the Wirral races, the Pygmies, are short, rotund, and dim. It's made from some sort of wood and has been decorated with. You don't know much about dice, but this one looks pretty damn fancy. You place the die into your pocket. It's always good to have luck on your side. You see a man in ragged clothes.
Interesting. A communard. A communard. One of the leftist revolutionaries in the anti-centennial revolution. The figurine is not a part of the real game setting. I guess someone misplaced it during the packaging process. Good luck finding people who'd want to play as communard.
You pick the figurine up by the base to meet your gaze. The little plastic man stares back at you, his face contorted into a disturbing shout. Then you pocket it. A colorful box with the title, Wirral. The cover of this pocket-sized volume features a swirl of orange, yellow, and green. The title, A Brief Look at Inframaterialism, is set in an authoritative yet approachable serif font. What an interesting color palette. It's vibrant, yet somehow leaves you ever so slightly nauseated. On the inside jacket flap, you find a brief summary. What is this brief look, TM, introduces readers to one of this century's most fascinating and misunderstood theories in a concise, jargon-free manner. The back of the book contains 4 or 5 pages of primary and secondary sources. In other words, this guide is the only source. You turn to the table of contents. The guide itself is divided into several sections with seemingly esoteric titles like known to his numerous admirers as the evangelist of the revolution, and to his even more numerous enemies as the apocalyptic Shrike. Ignis Nielsen remains one of the most controversial and fascinating figures to emerge in the years of the anti-centennial revolution, second only to Kraz Mazov. During his unparalleled life, he helped guide a revolution in one country and found a new state, and yet his most fascinating contribution to history may be the most overlooked. His theory of ideological plasm from which his followers and success. If you're like most people, you probably believe that your thoughts reside in your brain, right? That's not right at all. Thoughts don't exist in the brain. They float through the air. Your brain, very interesting, and not so far removed from Ignis Nielsen's own theory. As Mazov's devoted comrade and leading theoretician, Nielsen was responsible for developing much of the intellectual foundation of communism. But his interests and speculations were famously wide-ranging. During his final years in exile, he produced, among other things, an early guide to home brewing, instructions for raising revolutionary children, plans for a universal pictographic language, and a detailed materialist critique of Dolores Day's chess strategy. A true man of ideas, equal to any of the great DeLorean polymaths. But one subject he returned to time and time again was the fundamental relationship between thoughts and matter. We may yet discover, he wrote in his notebooks, that under certain exceptional circumstances, the proletariat's embrace of historical materialism may be so fervent that their beliefs take form in the world of matter as a kind of revolutionary plasm. Certainly, in essence, Nielsen is arguing that thoughts don't just reside inside the brain, They radiate outward from it. According to this idea, the brain is an ideological transponder, constantly emitting waves of highly politicized energy, which Nielsen called plasm. Woe is right. What's more, Nielsen speculated that this plasm, when it becomes powerful enough, might begin to influence the material reality surrounding it. Unfortunately, Nielsen passed away before he was able to develop these initial ideas into a full-fledged theory. That work was left to subsequent generations of communist theorists. Building on Nielsen's basic insight, these theorists reached a startling conclusion that a sufficiently revolutionary state might begin to exhibit certain extra-physical effects based on the amount of plasm generated by its citizens. Correct, though certain particulars of the theory are commonly attributed to Nielsen himself. The evidentiary basis of those attributions has always been a point of contention between inframaterialists and their critics. In fact, many of inframaterialism's critics, both inside and outside the communist movement, have said the same thing. That's because this is absolute idiocy, not even worth engaging with. No, no, no. There's something here. You can feel it. Inframaterialists divide the extra-physical effects of the revolutionary state by the level of plasm required to achieve them. At the lowest, or first level, revolutionary plasm is believed to stimulate or invigorate matter without altering its essential properties. Precisely, though plasm does more than increase vegetable yields, it's also been postulated that plasm may account for the remarkably full and manly your hand feels clammy against your bare chin. Of course, inframaterialists argue. In fact, reports from the revolutionary period claim that the most radically devoted communards were able to engage 8 hours. There's no way. Your equipment would be mashed to jelly. No wonder the communards couldn't shoot straight. They were too shagged out. Hyperproductive vegetables and ultra-horny communards are fine, but this theory hasn't quite gotten strange enough for you. And on that note, you feel like you've gotten the general idea of inframaterialism enough to carry. Of course you want to go deep. The book fits quite snugly into your palm. You flip forward a few pages until when a community has achieved a sufficiently high degree of revolution at this second level, certain hyper-revolutionary individuals may even develop, according to inframaterialist theory, yes. Under suitably revolutionary conditions, that is. It's become something of a folk legend that during their final meeting, Nielsen and Mazov didn't speak a single word, preferring to sit in silence with their chamomile tea, reading one another. One of the minor tragedies of the late revolutionary period is much of what we know of the communards' activities during this period come from memoirs and second-hand accounts. some only written down decades after the fact, and of dubious authenticity. Because plasm has never been directly observed, the exact mechanism behind these effects remains. In other words, there's no evidence that any of this mind-reading stuff is real. Why are you getting hung up on mechanisms? Open your mind's aperture just a little wider. You're so close to true understanding. Most inframaterialists would argue that the inability of skeptics to detect, there you have it, a perfectly unfalsifiable meaning is hardly a theory at all. This should be more than enough for stimulating this. You must. Everyone knows. Books save their best parts for the end. You breeze through the next several sections until you arrive at the final chapter, titled A Communism Above Reality. When a society's revolutionary fervor reaches the third and highest level, inframaterialist theoreticians have postulated that the laws of physics cease to be laws, more like suggestions, according to some of the SRV's leading inframaterialists. Of course, it's impossible to say what exactly happens. Some inframaterialists have even argued that it might require more plasm than human. In the SRV, there have been, but as of this writing, only human beings have demonstrated the intellectual capacity. There are numerous stories from Samara involving bandits or fascist mercenaries being levitated by farmers. The form of these stories also recalls several among known attempts to channel third-level capabilities. The most well-documented is the curious. It concerns an interesting series of events that took place during the invasion of Revachol. As coalition forces made landfall, a cadre of Nielsen's most fervent acolytes attempted to compress a coalition aerostatic with their collective will. According to communard law, these acolytes positioned themselves at the top of a redoubt just over the bay of Revachol. From that vantage, they proceeded to visualize pinching coalition warship debutante between them. There's no evidence the communards were equipped with finger pistols, though it's unlikely they would have. The acolytes, along with the redoubt, were vaporized. It's been said, though, that in the weeks following the battle, the captain of the debut. Of course, colorful anecdotes only scratch the surface of what inframaterial. Some have theorized that such a society would be fundamentally unrecognizable, lacking many of the institutions. Did that book just say there's no place for you in this future? Others have argued that people living under third-level conditions will be immune to such infirmities as hunger, disease, and mental illness. In some of his later writings, Nielsen himself speculated about the potential for an extra-physical architecture that disregards the laws of bourgeois physics and instead relies on the revolutionary faith of the people for structural integrity. Precisely. Nielsen observed that the financial system on the following page, you come across a few black and white reproductions from Nielsen's own note. Another depicts a leaning tower wrapped in a dramatic helix. The caption beneath it reads, "The Tower of History." Something about that tower looks awfully familiar. Could it be that's what the students were trying to recreate? Within the corner of one of the a state that has lost the faith of its people has forfeited the right to exist. There is no more. If you'd like to read further, may we recommend a brief look at Occidental architecture? Could this have been the killer's hideout? And this narrow window? This does look like an embrasure, a slit made for shooting out of. Outside the window, another day. The beach sand soaks up the drizzling rain, growing darker and darker.
It's a great place to hide, and Mazovianism and murder are certainly not mutually exclusive. But there hasn't been anyone here in ages. Indeed, no one could get a clear view. Well, at least, in fact, I think we're done with this bunker. After you, officer.
There it is again, like a swarm of hornets buzzing under your scalp. A strange tingling you can almost smell.
No, what do you mean? I don't feel it, but we should still be careful. There were footprints back there, and no, but you are the sensitive one.
It's not a quib. The situation is dangerous.
Looks like our suspect. If she's in here, we need to plan our next step carefully. Once we detain a credible suspect, who knows what the Union and the Wild Pines will do.
You will upset the balance of power in Martinez. This part of town is a fine clockwork puzzle. Disturb its peace. Keep calm. Go over the whole situation in detail.
I leave that to your judgment. You already know what I think about cross-pollinating information like this. It's dangerous, but...
He just can't be sure. Maybe it will yield something useful.
Well, we are not responsible for what we can't predict, are we?
If you can't predict it, there's nothing you...
I think I see a cavern. Maybe more cellars? I think we've been careful enough. We still have the element of surprise.
I wouldn't be so sure. You haven't exactly been sneaking.
Or maybe not. Either way, once we go deeper, there will be no turning back.
Suddenly, your entire body is paralyzed. Aggressive white noise fills your skull. A strange pain like you've never felt before. Through the static, you hear a woman's voice. 1,000 radio stations are being blasted into your head all at once, but her words are the only ones you can make out.
I know you're feeling pretty uncomfortable right now. Don't move too much or fight it. That'll just make it worse. Can't say it's a pleasure, officer. I was really hoping not to make your acquaintance. But here we are.
As she says the word officer, you feel a spike in the agony. It sounds like the entire radio frequency range is screaming directly into your neural. You feel something in your chest, an unnatural pressure. It's spreading to your left arm, your jaw, very, very bad. All you feel is pain and weakness. Cops. You see several packaged raincoats fill a low shelf beneath a display of croissants and juice bottles. The raincoats are transparent, except for the big...
Here you go.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles.
Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel better or something. Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel better or something. Okay, here. I hope. Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel better or something. Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel better. Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel.
Suddenly, your entire body is paralyzed. It's like a...
I know you're feeling pretty uncomfortable right now. Don't move too much or can't say it's a...
As she says the word nobody, that's not going to help. You can't shield yourself from this. It's an entirely new type of experience. Way worse than all the previous ones.
I'm using a pale latitude compressor. You and your partner have been caught in its field.
The explosion of static you're hearing is the ULAN frequency, blasted from that pale emitter that Angus mentioned.
Saw my equations? You've been sniffing through my lorry, right? I expected as much. I am a bit surprised you knew what you were looking at. A pale latitude compressor is used to sort of make the pale more manageable. With a lot of these, you can force a radio signal grid on the pale, literally crunch the distance across it. Signals are relayed across a series of repeater stations fixed to buoys. Not a fun job manning those stations. All alone out there in the pale, people lose their minds in just a few years.
So, what we are experiencing is a concentration of radio waves.
Precisely. This is an industrial strength paraboloid. It's meant for forcing dimensions on something that doesn't have them. Needless to say, the frequencies used are out of this world. At the upper limit is the large prime number generator station. It's used specifically for pale latitude compression. That's why you may be hearing some numbers. But you might also hear, or think you're hearing, local radio chatter.
She likes telling you about the machine. Keep her talking. Look for an opportunity to break loose.
I built it myself.
And she's proud of it too, as she ought to be. This is way beyond your abilities.
That's illegal. I'm guessing it's patented. But we are beyond that, aren't we?
Oh yeah, way beyond. No, once I shut down the compressor, the pain will end. It may take a few minutes for you to steady yourself though. It's a bit like waking out of a very confusing dream. Yeah, I stuck my head in there before using it on you. It seemed like the ethical thing to do. Can't say that I enjoyed it. The field was weaker, but I can imagine what you're going through. Yeah, let's not talk about that shit. You were hunting me and fell into my trap instead. That's all there is to say of it.
So she thinks of you as hunters, not cops. And of herself, merely.
If you've got something really important to say, you can do it through the white noise.
Looking for a deal with my mattress.
God damn it. Fine. If you really want to talk, I can dial it down. I've also got a gun, by the way.
The gun she's carrying is a 2-barreled front loader, not like the murder weapon. Well, it doesn't feel much better, but you can form sentences now. Thinking doesn't seem to hurt as much.
I heard you in the passages, and I've been preparing for quite a while. So you found my shack, huh? I'm not surprised.
Her tone is bitter. She thinks she's been betrayed.
I was. Before I caught you in the pale latitude compressor. I'm fine now.
That's her admitting the bullet was an emergency exit.
No, I didn't do it. I only helped stage the lynching, though I doubt that makes much of a difference to you. Who ratted me out, by the way? Was it Titus? No, he wouldn't have broken first. Oh, well, I guess I always knew she was a survivor above all else. But she couldn't have known I was on the coast. How did you find me?
Titus and his boys, man. They told us you were on the coast.
Well, fuck. Those guys liked me, I know it. If this is what happens to people whom people like... How the fuck did the rest of you get by?
Does she mean that you're not a person whom other people like?
I did, didn't I? Now you've come for me. Fuck them all the same.
That did make her forgive them. A little.
Like what? I already told you I didn't do it.
A strong moral compass. She still wants the opportunity to make a case for herself.
I didn't like him. Hardened mercenaries aren't particularly likable types. You think I was envious of his conquests? Look, pussy's not a problem for me, and definitely not a reason to off someone. Plenty of broken people who don't come with that kind of body count. Besides, they're paid well for what they do. Yeah, sure. And I didn't like wild pines sending in those foreign hirelings. Me and a fuck ton of other people around here.
She didn't hate it, okay?
I'm listening. Man, I was with the boys the whole night. I hope they at least bothered to impress that upon me. You mean the length of a toilet break? That wouldn't even have been enough time. Look, fuck you, man. I might also have stopped by the bar.
She speaketh truth.
Wow. Now I'm curious. Please, explain. No. Not since I was 14 and why? Yeah, and probably some ghosts from the time of the suzerain. I'm not really interested in supernatural mysteries. Not murder mysteries either, if that's what you're thinking.
She looks you in the eye, impassively, making it clear.
The fuck do elevators have to? Not particularly. I'm not really into old... God damn!
So you know she's not an antiques enthusiast. Not my jurisdiction.
Don't know it, but
Evaluating
the shot couldn't have come from the roof. Or we would have all...
She has a point there.
that didn't go super well. You've got to lay something better on her.
And? The gun store, triggered Happy Jacks. What did you think? That I'm going to squeal on my gun supplier? Sorry. No, sure don't.
The breech load?
No.
This is such a wipeout.
A knocked way 80 front loader. Two barrels.
That isn't it.
Never really got into weapons trafficking. Especially not old... Yeah. Evidence. I considered her a good friend, yeah. Oh, so that's where you were going with this. That's a very sentimental way of putting it. We both had pasts who didn't want to catch up with us. And we enjoyed listening...
The lieutenant, what?
Okay, fine. I was into her. Clausy was into me too for a time, I know it. We even fooled around once. And yeah, after that I thought...
Clausia only said they maybe kissed.
If that's what she wants on the record, so be it. I'm not a...
Really?
Is that blood on the ground before you? Are your ears?
Yeah, really? She rejected me with some wishy-washy bullshit about how she was confused because she felt so close to me. I knew that wasn't the whole story, but thought...
No ill will then. It wasn't probably for her.
What the hell, man?
Her hand slipped from the dial of the compressor for a moment.
Wow. Pissing, pinball, and now peeping. If I want to stare at a pretty girl, I can pick one up at a bar. Or, worst case scenario, look at a naughty photo. Who has... What the fuck, man? She's everyone's type.
She's beginning to suspect you've broken into her lorry now.
Nope. Look. She has an effect on people. That je ne sais quoi that makes it for the same reason that she's everyone's type as an object of desire.
Right on.
Yeah. One time when we'd both been drinking, I said I was a little worried she'd blow it out of proportion in her head. All the drugs she was doing can make you feel like you're yeah, the girl seemed terrified. The merc was beyond caring what happened to his mortal coil. It was a no-brainer. Go ahead. It's your body. Who doesn't? Oh, you probably mean Clausia's rooftop. Sure, I've hung out there. The view's pretty bomb, too. But you might say the antenna was the main attraction there, yeah. along with Claudia. It's very powerful. I used it to tune into RCM frequencies. Yes, I'm sure. And anyway, as I said before, the shot had to have come from afar. So, Heart of Gold Tommy fucked me over too. Never trust a musician.
That really comes as a blow to her.
Okay, great. You got into my lorry on your own. What now? You're going to arrest me for...
Beneath it, she's relieved Tommy didn't betray her.
That's your prerogative. Man, it's to get away from all that murderous shit that I left Jamrock, my previous employer, for the union.
She deliberately avoided naming the mob she worked for. You might be able to find this out.
I got lucky being a dispatcher. Never had to do any of the really dirty work myself. This gun has only been used...
There. It's going to be easier to reach the machine now.
Based on what I've heard about you, you are serious scum. Yeah? What?
More questions before doing anything.
How should I know?
Those rings around her eyes. Her tired voice. She's been staying up late, listening in on the conversations crisscrossing Martinez.
Police radio? You've been following the case?
Who hasn't? You know, I can still see him there, in Claus's room, lying on his side. He was still warm, but the bluish light coming through the broken window made him look as though...
She eyes you.
It's okay.
All right, don't kill yourself over it. I was shooting the shit with Hardy and the boys over a few beers, like always. Then Klasha comes in, all pale and shuddering. She sits down with a drink, trying to steady her nerves. So I grab a seat next to her. Oh yeah, super. But I didn't think too much of it at first. I'd seen her party hard before. No, I really didn't. She's not that easy to read. I just assumed she'd done too much blow. It wouldn't be a first for her. She asked me to come upstairs. The merc she'd been going with was lying on the bedroom floor, dead. I knew she couldn't get the authorities involved, so yeah.
You made it look like he'd been hanged.
What? No. Faking a lynching was her idea. Yeah, in cold blood. It really surprised me how quickly she was able to get him. She asked me to help her drag him into the shower so she could wind the...
She lied to you about that, too.
Yeah. I wasn't sure whether to admire her or be disturbed. As I keep telling you cops, we didn't hear any...
But even if this is true, what...
War? The thought crossed my mind, but the...
She doesn't want to talk about this, but not because she has something to hide. She doesn't want...
Fuck it. I'm not responsible for these people after what they did. I saw you roll into town.
So this is what she was scared to tell Titus. This cop.
Yes, you. Everyone says you're his peon, his human can opener.
Through the sudden sharp pain in your head, you hear the lieutenant mumble something to himself. Fucking hell. And why me? You hear through the white noise. It's especially bad suddenly. Felt like a vein exploded.
Everyone in Jamrock, the cops, the criminals. Why do you think I'm holed up in here with a goddamn death ray waiting for me?
If she knows that about you, she must know your real name too.
Harry Dubois. One corrupt motherfucker with the disco pants and a funny tie. Agent de la puta madre.
All of this just means that you're effective. Criminals know you and are scared of you.
Is that a joke or a threat? I'm guessing both. Yeah, sure.
She doesn't...
I'm sure La Puta Madre himself will explain it all. You've been to my lorry. You think the biggest player in Jamrock appreciates competition? And now I have Harry Can Opener in my lair.
She's not going to change her mind that easily. She still perceives you as a threat. Wait, one thing, possibly small, but she said you rolled into town.
Yeah, you had your death squad with you. What happened to them anyway? Sure you do. I bet they're just outside waiting. Well, it wasn't this scrawny dude. You had two guys and a lady. The guys looked pretty buff. One of the guys seemed chipper, a blonde. The other had a brooding... That sound about right?
No idea who these people are, literally.
Well, this has been a great...
She needs it. You better make your move.
What bunker? Don't know anything about it. No one's been around since I set up camp.
Keep calm. Breathe in. After the pain recedes, it's a little clearer. We did it. The compressor lies broken on its side. It's quiet in your head again. It still hurts like hell, but...
All good, officer. Be careful.
She looks at the machine, assessing the damage. Her hand trembles.
Oh, fuck it. Problem solved.
Ma'am, put the gun down. That's not the solution to...
Oh, yes it is.
She's truly desperate. She thinks she has no other options. You need to give her options. You know. This is how you talk her out of it. It's the only scenario in which she lives. She stares at you, frozen, the gun still in her mouth, eyes filled with dark intensity. Then something shifts in her. Gratitude, doubt. She's still ready to go. Her neck and shoulders relax, and her grip on the gun loosens.
Day of miracles. I'll take it.
She runs past you, then past the lieutenant, and disappears into the darkness.
Good call. Yeah, I'm sure. I would have done the same had I not been incapacitated. I have a feeling we didn't. Her tent. We should check it out. Yes?
The plain red tent stands by. It was pitched by practiced hands. She's used to camping out. The tent looks old, but well maintained. In the darkness of the tent, a rolled-up sleeping bag, cooking utensils, some books, and a kerosene lamp. It reeks of cigarettes. Assorted soft covers, mostly pulp horror. A motor carriage lies buried in the snow on one cover. On another, a ghost airship. You also see a collection of radio enthusiast magazines.
See anything?
Rager Monthly, Journal of Material Science. More Technological Digest. One of the magazine, you pocket the worn brown leather journal.
We should read this immediately, like right now.
thick journal. The cover is worn like someone used to carry it around in their back pocket. It's made of full-grain leather. The lower left corner of the back cover sports an embossed brand name, Schneller. Schneller is a stationery brand from Gottwald, beloved among architects and engineers. She's got good taste and must have taken whatever she recorded here seriously. The journal falls open. About 2/3 of its ruled pages, the large cursive of someone who writes quickly and confidently. Perhaps too confidently. Many phrases and even paragraphs have been crossed out, with tiny corrections scrawled above. It's a mix of logistical notes, diagrams, and personal reflections.
It's good she left in a hurry. We could learn a lot from this.
Hard to tell exactly. It's mostly noted down in code. Looks like contact information, quantities, directions.
There could be useful information about local operations in those notes. We have
Esoteric radio technology. The most recent ones probably pertain to the latitude compressor. Short, wry observations of people and places. Probably a way to... The way some of those question marks trail off into ellipsis. She was going through a tough time. The first entry is from August 2nd of last year. It reads simply, I know my position is precarious. All I can do is make myself as useful as I can while looking for a way out. Remember, no one is indispensable. Nothing on March 4th. March 5th, though, well, that's bound to come back and bite me in the ass. I'm bad at this. Loyal to a fault. But that's another matter. She is referring to betraying her previous employer. Does this suggest she did it in self-defense? That name isn't mentioned as small wonder. Would you talk about La Puta Madre in your journal? You do see an M, though. Great. M's peon is coming to town, no doubt to investigate the lynching. But also, I feel it in my gut to finally put a bullet in my head while I'm napping in my lorry or on a smoke break. Well, I won't stick around just to twist my own neck by constantly looking over my shoulder. Then again, isn't that what I've been doing ever since I got the call? The call? Did M call her personally? Why? Been holed up here for 3 days now. I'm used to being alone and all, but I don't know when I'll be able to leave, or if I'll be ratted out. They will rat me out, of course. I've made it a point to believe in the best in people, the boys, for example. But experience tells me, did M feel truly betrayed by me? I was feeling threatened. He'd have to know if he threatened people, they'd take measures to protect themselves. Even I know that. Economic measures, first of all. Gotta make a living, right? I can still hear his voice in the receiver. Taste the plastic. The entry ends abruptly. The most recent entry is from today. It reads, even when I leave here, if I leave here alive, what's my next move? Staging a lynching is a crime, even if I'm not accused of murder on top of that. Forever on the run. Not really my idea of the open road. Man, I was really looking forward to winning.
It looks like she might have been framed. I wouldn't go so far as to say that. We have other reasons to her. Besides, I'm not sure her life as a fugitive is going to be much better than we does. No, I don't think you are. Ask someone in your precinct if you want to be sure.
He truly does not believe you are. Perhaps he shouldn't be so...
Classier was the one who pointed the finger at Ruby. Perhaps she was trying to steer us away from herself. Or maybe she had an accomplice. Either way, we need to keep an eye on her. One thing is for certain. We have business back in the whirling and rags. Questions to ask. We should get to it.
our tenant.
You're back. Good.
Stop. Just up ahead. Danger. You are prepared. Don't put away your friend. Snowflakes suspect the barrels of your VA's 9mm pistol.
Yes, I hear commotion.
This isn't the time.
I'm all out of shits to give, loincloth. Welcome to the fucking reckoning.
Put your damn gun down. People are gonna get hurt. We need to talk this through. All right?
Shut up! You're not gonna talk yourself out of this, loincloth shit.
This is the mercenary at the gates. His chest rises and falls under the ceramic breastplate.
Shh.
This is a misunderstanding. Nothing irreversible has happened yet. You can just return to your unit and forget all about it.
The Kipt is merciful, willing to spare us if we just forget about our murdered and humiliated commander. I think we should just kill everyone, Courty.
You are all drunk. Come to your senses. You won't gun down 7 people in the middle of the street. This isn't a frontier town or a jungle outpost.
Easy, Lizzie. Let me handle it. I know guys like this. I'm sure we can come to a peaceful agreement. Ain't that right, fellas?
Peaceful.
Nest in your abdominal cavity like a little wild mouse. The masked man's words are barely intelligible, but you can hear them.
Fuck, there's the third one. How did we miss something like this?
This third one, he is the most dangerous of them all, heavily armed. The lieutenant is genuinely worried for his life. You should consult him before getting in there.
My plan is not to get killed, but we have to intervene. The Mercenary Tribunal. If this turns into a firefight, we should take him out first.
A sound strategy. He's the leader.
Get lost, comedian. You cops had your chance. Now it's fucking time for some justice.
I think he's calmed down a bit.
Pig fuck!
Oh, people are gonna die today. We're not leaving it like this. These tribals hung him up for everyone to...
No one is going to kill anyone. Let's just put the guns down and talk like civilized.
With a wordless gurgle, the killer loads his long rifle. The leader gives a small nod to the helmeted man. Suddenly, the grip of your sidearm feels comforting and warm in your hand. Feels like it's saying, shoot him in the mouth. Shoot him before he shoots you. No, wait. It's good you have that gun. It really is. Just soften him up. I'm barely keeping you together here. This is it, the big one. If you talk to him, he will rattle you, not the other way. Peace. Always peace. It has worked thus far. Start with the first idea you have, then move down from that. Please.
Rude. Rude is the killer. Rude, the killer, who include
All of you cunts inside out. Rip you up.
Perhaps it's for the best. Him not talking.
The gunner, the raddest, the killer. What do you think he...
There, on the rim of Owen Clerven's helmet, you count little stick figures. 19, 20, about 50 little stick figures. All of them black, plus 2 little white ones in. These men served in Seminai, the native islanders. The 2 little white figures in the end are from when they moved to Revachol. They're recent.
That's right. Plenty of kips here.
T, let's fucking do.
Yeah? Who did that? How fuck...
His fingers are twitching. That's a draw reflex. He's about to draw.
You think I'm... How about the kid?
Listen, please. This cop and this drumhead cop marshal won't decide who...
The Hardy Boys confessed to hanging him, all together. Titus said we took him out back and hanged him. He said it loud, in a public place.
You're lying.
A Kiel Model 40.
You heard wrong. She and these men have been helping us find the shooter.
Fucking liars.
The shot rings in your ears. Below, the young woman stands and looks behind.
I missed.
I know what I heard, Corty.
That doesn't sound good. What topic? Shots have been fired. Act before it's too late. This was a close call.
Yes. So what? Stupid shit.
Enough already!
Interrupt me again and I will execute you on the... You think I care what that company cunt thinks?
The man... Now is not a good time to strike. He's looking right at your hands.
She's gone, you stupid fuck!
As you look to the bay, you see a small green sail on the horizon.
Stay cool! The company bitch is gone. Laylee's gone. Fuck are we still do...
Guys,
Hold your ground. Any more of you run, I'll shoot you myself. We're doing this together.
Who the fuck...
Glacia, the woman upstairs, where is she?
She left!
Unarmed, hunched, but keeping it together.
What am I doing? My fucking establishment is under fire! You know how much windows cost? She left! Her room's cleaned out! Right before these...
We should have arrested him.
You can feel how upset he is with himself. Just for a second. Then the fear takes up.
Hey, Bushman! Your little cunt isn't gonna help you out of this one!
Alright, here we go. This is an illegal tribunal. Crano would never sanction this. Who's the commanding officer? Take your pick. You only have time for one argument. Choose wisely.
Pops, you have no idea about the rights Crenell extends to us. If I fuck and kill you, hang you to that streetlight by your shit pipes, then that's called a necessary No one's going to give a shit about dead loincloths. That's reality.
Okay, it's not much, but he's thinking about something else, and his hand is off the gun. Now fire. Fuck them up. Do it. The muscles on your back tense up. Of course, nothing bad will happen. Talk about his dead friend. He seems stable enough to take it. Even better, this might be a very bad moment to come up with this, but he's courty, right?
Don't fuck.
Okay, yes. Immediate failure. Things are worse now. He's observing your every motion carefully. A plume of smoke and fire erupts from the gun, and your hand goes numb from the explosion. The smoke drifts west with the wind. You hear the plaza erupt in violence, slow, like a waterfall in river. There is a hole in his cheek. Blood gushes out as he stumbles backward. His lips, moving, swollen with fear, are trying to say, shoot him, but he can't. To your right, the killer raises his rifle and takes aim at you. His moves are steady. An Easter AR-FA-7, built for taking out light armored vehicles. It will devastate you. From the corner of your eye, you see the lieutenant raise his pistol and aim it at Root. He's trying to find a straight line of sight before the rifleman can take you out. In the background, the leader staggers. It's not easy. He has 0.6 seconds to do so. He won't make it. You're on your own. You stare down the barrel of the gun. You see Rude's mask behind it, his eyes in the slit of the helmet, like a camera lens. For 0.4 seconds remain. There are 6 little black dots in the tip of the barrel, like a honeycomb. This is a knock cannon. It shoots 6 rounds in one pull of the trigger. Absolute destruct. God, you're so frail. Too frail to think further. Time is... The shot rings and you stumble. Something violently tugs at your shoulder, pushing you backwards with incredible force. A volcano of burning pain erupts from your left shoulder. The pain flows over your entire body like an awful shock.
God, please.
He's aiming for the eye slot in Rude's helmet. An extremely difficult shot. Then, 2 shots and you hear a scream. But you're too hurt to see who got hit. Blood gushes from the helmet's eye sockets as Rude staggers back, disoriented. The sounds coming from his helmet are not human. An unbelievable shot from the lieutenant. The helmet looks like the face of an ancient god of war, crying blood. Glenn, dying in a puddle of blood behind you. His mangled torso has 2 gunshot wounds. Blood gushes out of them like... You see 2 crazed eyes stare at you through all the smoke and the panic. With blood gushing from his face, the man raises his pistol at you. Then he squeezes the look of vengeance, framed in blood, lips shaking. This is the last thing he'll do on Earth. But he will do it. He is your end. Here it comes. Death. You can't. There is no time. Something inside your pelvis explodes. Your entire lower body is on fire, and your legs can't support you. You fall down like a... The pain is too immense to scream. It pushes the air out of your lungs. Everything goes dark. A distant blur as you recede into it. The Hardy Boys are screaming, fighting, dying. Someone jumps over you. Nearby gunfire shatters.
Stop! The cop! Protect the cop! He's down!
Feels slick and warm with blood. The pain is too strong to know what has happened there. Even clutching to your consciousness takes everything you got. Most of what's down there. It's all gone. Open your eyes now. You have to see what's happening. Nothing. A persisting darkness. Dancing lights of pain. Distant shadows cast by them. Like a hellish play.
You're bleeding out. Stay with me. Yes, keep talking. You hear me? Stay awake.
But you can't. It's so hard. Your eyelids grow heavy, and the sounds ever more distant. And a cold comes over you. The lieutenant, too, is somewhere far away, almost gone. When suddenly, you sense something behind him, a slender white shadow towering. Someone stands there, raising her pistol at him. The lieutenant does not see it. He's pushing down on your wound with both hands. Scream immediately. He's gonna die. No, you say, and hand out your firearm to him. Your hand trembles, and your eyes are full of fear. That's all it takes. There is no room for hesitation. The lieutenant moves like a spring unloaded. He grabs the gun from your bloody hand and fires behind him. You hear a faint scream, a woman's. Then the sound disappears, like someone pressed stop on the tape. The woman is gone. So is Kim. Then the whole world.
This is death. One more door, baby. One more door. Brother, you already were a ghost. Up there, screaming along with all of them, scaring each other. It's the living who are ghosts. The dead are silent. They don't rattle windows or write letters in blood. The living do. Leave them behind. Rest.
The fight? There is no fight. The fight is over. It was lost 1,000 years ago. You have laid here forever. Keep falling deeper. Take the door. He's not taking it. His body is not taking it. Oh God, no. He's not disintegrating. He's swelling up instead. Over the hours, hurting, moaning in his sleep, and rotting, and being disinfected, and smelling of drugs, and feeling saliva in his mouth, drifting in painkillers, thrashing in his wound sleep.
There is a radio in the distance, a radio of the world, playing sounds. Good morning, Elysium. Soon you will return to the world.
Hours turn to days. Soon we will get up again and go through it Again! Finally, we know what the infernal engine was outside. The clarion call.
The engine of a Caprice Kinema.
No, it was him. He is the infernal engine. Can't you see? He never stops. He only gets worse.
You see the lieutenant's familiar shape in the orange jacket. It turns double, then triple, from the pain.
Sunrise, Parabellum. It's not ouch time yet. You just got the Dramamine pill an hour ago. Wait until it wears out.
Dramamine? Then it's not that bad. Neither surgical nor organ damage bad, but still under the counter bad.
Mr. Gart cleaned it. It took him an entire day. 2 days, in and out. You've been up enough to take Dramamine and curse. And drink water. Sunrise, Parabellum. Sunrise, prepare for war. It's an old revolutionary saying.
Isn't that written on your...
It served you well. The gates of the harbor are boarded up. The streets are a little more empty. Apocalyptic violence is yet to erupt. I think we may have held it off, for now. Barely. Yes, we have also completely failed. But that's okay. What happened? You shot the major in the face. A firefight. Yes. As retaliation, the rifleman shot you. He hit. With his carabine. I was looking for a clear line of sight. When I found it...
He sounds a tiny bit sorry he did not find it before you got hit.
I shot and wounded him, while Glenn took a bullet in the spine. It was meant for me.
This is not the first person to die in his place. He goes on.
Titus, Fat Angus, and Theo charged. Angus and Theo did not make it. They both died before they made it to intensive care. Titus survives. So do Alain and the musician. I forget his name. Yes, he's still alive too. You were bleeding out by then. I think you say that no one wants to party with you, and you warned me. I was able to disarm one of them, the Pole, before she got the jump on me. I killed her, and that's what happened. This is the one. The Pole was the last to die. Evrard had their bodies returned to Crenel for a funeral. The company is yet to retaliate. Because we deterred them? Or Joyce did? Maybe the harbor in full lockdown is too costly a target. Or maybe they are simply taking their time and will attack soon. I don't know. 3. Glenn, Theo, Angus. The fat one. He took a lot of bullets. And Theo, he was just too old for combat. All. Yes, officer. 7 people are dead. It's not a success. But what's done is done. The violence is cordoned off. The Hornets did not get into the beehive. The worst scenario has not materialized. Yet. And we are still alive. Both of us.
He did not expect you both to survive once you stepped between those two armies. His smoking, his hunched back. You have it worse, but he took a real beating.
Pretty bad, officer. You've suffered 2 wounds. The first is below your shoulder. The bullet passed through your shoulder blade, luckily missing your lung. The second shot hit you in the thigh, the left quadriceps. No major arteries were nicked, but the bullet had to be removed. Bacterial infection was... We will see. No. I called your station after the fight. The injury was logged in. They told me they've sent officers. I'm sure they're worried about...
That means he hasn't seen them around while you were out. They're not really worried.
I don't know. I did. It's part of a detective's task chain. You can do it too.
Actually, you can. You can even remove a fractured bullet, it seems.
Not very. I have a concussion from that woman beating me with the butt of her gun. I try to not move too much. Things would be worse if you didn't warn me. Thank you. I did not see her coming. Stupid of me. Easy now. How are you? Your disco days should have been done quite a while back, Lieutenant Gefreiter. I honestly don't know. We can't talk to Everard. The harbor is in lockdown. Everyone in there is outside our grasp now. And Joyce has left too. Yes, she left yesterday morning. To meet the board of Wild Pines. Or that is what I've heard. Maybe it's her. Maybe she kept her end. Either way, Ruby's gone. And Classio too. We really should have a guard confirmed she left 20 minutes prior to the tribunal showing up. I don't know. I think the theory you presented, it's someone else outside our circle of suspects, was right. It better be. Everyone, honestly, I think our investigation has not produced a single credible suspect. It's extremely easy. There are thousands lying around. We found one, all completely unusable. It's precisely how easy it is to find one. Don't be narcissistic. Have the cops in Revachol West.
That does make some sense.
What? Every piece of garbage in the city is not connected to the case. You don't have to catch every...
He's wrong.
Okay. I don't know. That's been there for years. Yes, God curse the footprints, not solving the case for us. We should go upstairs, rethink the ballistics in situ. I agree with this. What else? We could find thousands more if we wanted. All of her...
He arches his brow. The ceiling fan patiently spins overhead.
It really is...
That concussion must be making him dizzy.
No. Are you ready to limp? Good. Where do you want to limp to?
A gust of wind blows in from the bay. The duraluminum box around you vibrates imperceptibly. A familiar cold, a red thread on the roof upstairs. Taut, plucked like a string by the gust.
Why not? Another look at the window, perhaps? The one he was shot through. I don't know. I can't...
The bed's a little... The fan stands still. The bathroom mirror has been... These papers bear the stamp of the RCM.
I had Gart open the door to your room. You were running a low bacterial fever the first night. Behind darkness, I get it. I am sure need...
medicine cabinet is empty. Not even a toothbrush.
Mm-hmm. She certainly had her prey.
Next to the stack of bills, you see a note. A few lines jotted down in large, uneven handwriting, just as the writer was about to rush out the door. I'm sorry, I fucked everyone over. P.S. I didn't kill him. P.P.S. Gift upstairs.
A gift. I am not drawing my gun, yet. But I don't like gift.
He says he's not, but his hand moves instinctively toward his...
It's hardly surprising.
You look at her rough, jagged handwriting on the note. She was in a rush, but not panicked. Deliberate. You see the same two neon-lit shapes, a man and a woman, only now a red thread bisects the room, pointing from the antenna outside to the cupboard on the wall.
This is ballistics. She's left a trajectory for us.
A ray of backward motion explodes from his mouth to the roof outside. A prime. It suggests the bullet came from the extreme upper quadrant of possible angles, from a point beyond the roof. B triple prime, the island in the bay.
Unless she thinks the perpetrator was standing on the ring antenna. That is where the thread seems to point. I remember. She was there that night. She would have known precisely where the bullet hole was.
She had a long time to think about it after, standing on that.
It also looks like there may be more to her skill set than we know. The question is, should we try? I find that hard to believe. But at this point, what difference does it make? So it is.
For a second he seems tired.
I just haven't gotten it.
He doesn't really believe this will yield anything. The lead is flimsy. You might as well go around Martinez looking under every rock. There, across the grey water, amidst crumbling concrete, a birch tree, and the half-sunken ruins of a flak tower.
Not a lot, no. Could be the makings of a sniper.
Why not? Military fortifications are made for that kind of thing.
Okay, let's go to the fucking island. How do we get there? Joyce Messier had a sloop, but she's gone. Ah, yes, of course. The village. Let's go.
You clearly see foot...
Jackpot. These, unlike everything else here,
Oh, you're up. It's good to see you back on your feet. Did you like your room? I cleaned it for you. You're welcome. I thought it would be nice for you to wake up in a clean place after you, let's be fair, defended this establishment and its clientele from gunfire. I give credit where credit is due, and that, sir, was a nice shot. I was watching until you hit him. Crawled inside then. Bullets. I wish you a quick recovery. Also, you and your partner are staying here free now. This establishment supports cops. The stay is free, the drinks are not. Oh, you know, people don't tend to stick around after shootouts. Turns out they're... I don't remember everyone who comes here, and many people wear sunglasses inside lately. Must be a fad. Yeah, I was, yeah. That's because I'm a badass. Yeah, I don't know. Clients were panicking. And also, I guess I...
He means it. It's not...
No problem. Do I have...
He sound, and it's not a shaker.
Am I where... Am I...
Because he's not a bot.
That's...
Play it calm.
Like what?
Hi again, Gendarme. Admiring the atmosphere. What about you, officer? A bit too dramatic, but then again, your human psychology is definitely... Bye-bye, Gendarme.
Seeing you approach, the bruised man raises his bear in welcome.
Crazy motherfucker. Didn't think you had that fury in you. But I guess I've misjudged a lot of people. That was one hell of a shot. Hell of a shot. The fucks did not expect that. But I guess what I'm trying to say here is, thank you for intervening, fellas. That was mighty brave of you. Well, cheers anyway. Theo was old. I think he'd be pretty happy with the way he went. Never could imagine him withering away on. But Angus, he was just a stupid kid. Didn't realize the mess he'd gotten into. Trusted me. Still, the balls on that kid. Went down fighting for someone else's shit like a fat...
Here it comes. The last one is the worst one. He only deals with it by drinking.
And Glenn was my friend. Best I've ever had. I'd love that crazy homo like my own brother. We're all fucked without him. But what do? This job is shit. Dennis, you saw him run. He's a mean little shit and I never trusted him. He'd better run real fast now. Real fast.
Man, getting shot has really squeezed all the funk out of you. Mark my words. One day we'll look back at this day and remember their courage, not their death.
Right. But today ain't that day yet. First, we're gonna find Dennis.
I'm going to find Dennis. I'm going to find him, and then I'm going...
The tone of the statement is so matter-of-fact. It's as though he were...
We're hunting that rat down. Let it be known what happens to cowards. And then, I guess I'll take a closer look at our union members. There's bound to be some... Might even ask Tibbs if he's tired of replacing windows. And maybe wants to have...
He's right. The numbers are replaceable.
Don't know? Don't care. I'll be glad if I never... Nope.
He did. He shrugs and tries to look uninterested.
Judging by the sight of you, I'd suggest
Yeah, go pay Monica a visit in Janrock. She's got a knack for making men forget about their worries. Biggest pair of milkers in all Rebacho.
Hell, you both look like you could use some feminine...
Thank you for your advice, Eugene, and you too, Alain. I do always appreciate a good use of the expression milkers.
It sincerely amuses him how hard these guys typecast.
You're welcome, Bina Claude. Take care, coppers. You two look after yourselves now. Death passed on you today, but men don't get that luck.
Copo Loco. And normal cop, I guess. Good luck in Shamrock. Scars made...
Thanks for getting involved, guys. Not a lot of cops would step into that line of fire, but you did.
And if you ever feel like the uniform is holding you back, I've got a few.
The graffito has been painted over the traces of the fight that took place here. It smells of blood and heavy fuel oil. This was Cindy the Skull. The lieutenant crouches, touching the fuel oil with his finger.
Looks like it, yes. This is still fresh. It wasn't here yesterday. And blood. Some of it is even yours.
Heavy fuel oil. Isn't that flammable? You could buy some smokes, light up a ciggy and throw it in there. You know, just to see what happens. See if it's flammable. It's better that way. Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57.
Something is wrong. No reply. Only the mindless drone of
It's been this way for a while now. My guess is the Union is listening in on our conversations and jamming outward communications to protect themselves from Crenel. It only happens when someone mentions the attack. The rest is unaffected. No more dangerous than stepping between 3 armed mercenaries and 8 Union men, I hope. I don't like it either, but that's the way it is. You can try calling again. Just don't mention the tribunal.
Everything sounds okay. No drumbeat of total war yet. In the cabin, you see a set.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
10-4, come in. Firewall. 10-4, sir. Well, there's been some talk, sir. I only meant that there's been some talk in the station, that's all. But there always. But then again, some of us truly are on the take. It's unfortunate. Over. 10-4, sir. Sorry, but I'm under order. 10-4. Order that. Roger that.
My man, you're alive. Almost. Kind of. Man, what a day. So what's next? You guys heading back to Jamrock now? Talk is local union muscle were behind it all. I'd reckon the case is closed, even if it kind of turned into a shit show. Good luck with that, my man. Ain't easy being you, but hey, you're still breathing, right? Fuck it. I'm a bad guy now. There's things more important than holding a grudge. It's okay. You've been through enough. We are what we are. And you're a cop.
我喜欢。我喜欢这句话 "We are what we are."
Shoot. Sorry, man. Didn't mean it like that. Ask away. Okay.
Is it wise to share information about the case like this, sire? The lieutenant throws you a quick glance.
Woof. Good on her. And good on you, too, my man. That's merciful. Downright merciful. You cops keep exercising that muscle, and people will be more willing to cooperate, you know.
He's clearly relieved.
All right. That's enough sharing details about the investigation for one day.
我再也解锁不了了，这玩意儿，唉。Is this about the questions again? I don't really.
A colourful display.
Again, I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health. Here you go, mister.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles.
Okay, here.
The tear machine stands in the corner. Your bottles clunk. To the left of some croissants.
稍等，我离开一下。
What do you see? I don't know. They're about the same size. Not the same boat, no, but they could be the same person. No, these prints are pretty standard. The ones in the dust looked custom. Or maybe they're just a foreign design. It's a book.
Everyone says you started crying in the middle of a firefight and then bled like a pig. I guess that was cool. People, they say you'd kind of died for a moment, that you let your shit out already, but then came back. So I guess that's what's cool now. Just don't think because you got half your dick shot off and you're an invalid now, Kuno's gonna treat you different. Kuno doesn't reward weakness. It's business as usual with Kuno. Kuno's cold like that.
Feels good for some reason.
我感昆诺承认警探了。
Watch out, pig. It's a dangerous world out there. But Kuno's got his eyes on you. Who knows?
I'll die before I squeal, pig.
There it is, a brave little army in your pocket. The first Smokes platoon. 20 brave souls standing in salute, ready to step into fire for you, sir. You picked the best one. This soldier is fat and succulent. What are you waiting? People are watching. Will they always be looking though? Shut up and light that Get a load of this rock and roll cop here, people. Johnny Thundercop fishes a cheap lighter out of his pants. With a flick of the thumb, there's fire. A primal satisfaction. Here we go. The lighter's dark green disposable plastic. Safety's off. In your case, repercussions. There's a high risk of glory. With a mild chance, it will help you concentrate a bit. That much is true. Thick, warm smoke gets sucked down into your lungs. Immediately, you feel a warm nostalgia fill your head, body, and soul. A nostalgia for yourself. The man you were in your youth. Johnny Thundercop is back, and he's chill as balls. The graffito has been painted over. This was Cindy the Skull.
我刚刚想说，这个好酷啊！这个总有一天我会回到你身边，太酷了。
The fuel oil catches fire immediately with a low hiss. A bright orange flash across the surface of the lettering. The falling snow turns to vapor above the burning message, mingling with the black smoke. The lieutenant has taken a small step back. He looks at your face illuminated by the flames and nods silently. Then the fire falters. The flames warmed him too. Not at all in a bad way.
Let's go to that island.
Slowly, the flames subside, the fuel burning out. The air still smells of mazout and springtime. The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not look overly comforting.
We can sit on benches after we've solved.
Mon Dieu! You set it on fire! What kind of a policeman are you? Apocalypse? I don't know, officer. Yes. Yes.
He fight.
We all got.
We are both very sorry for your loss. Death of a friend is a terrible thing.
It is what it is. I just don't know.
The boyadero stares at you with respect, then gestures towards the trickles of blood adorning your clothes.
There are types of danger. The one I'm usually concerned with is lung cancer or getting mauled by wildlife, not bullets. It calls back to an older era where this was commonplace, though. You have a true boyadero heart, hiding, gathering themselves. The harbor's in full lockdown, friend. No getting in. No, man. Not today. Today is war.
He says it matter-of-factly, like it's no big deal.
Time will tell. I'll tell Everard you dropped by. I'll be okay here, doing lookout. Quite the sight, aren't they? Getting to like that rare I am. Don't worry about me. I live to alleviate the worries of our brothers. See if any insane kid. I'm sure I'll be luckier than you, friend.
An old mod.
"这好像告别哦，就是跟所有人都告别。
Wow! A cop limping down the street, bleeding from the shoulder, face bruised, looking like cool. That's cool. Me? It's
This man probably.
very
The Delta Logistics Company truck stands here waiting, reflecting white light from the courtyard behind it. You knew it would be here, blocking the gate.
Whatever's going on there could hardly be of any consequence to. You can come back to it on your own when we are done with.
Yes, people hard at work at their desks. They can barely tell if it's day or night anymore, because the lights in the building are so uniform and bright. Yes, and it's rather ironic, because they believe themselves to be Mazovians, because this is a place of mystery.
Whatever's going on, you can come back to it on your own when we are done.
The gnarled hawthorn.
Between you and me, this is why I don't get involved in local politics in its purest form. Now, what can I do for you? Sure, let me have a look. Oh, no. I don't. Aphotic paths?
You have absolutely no idea what aphotic paths are, but the tattoos on the man.
Another time.
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope that though I suppose you took the worst of it. Turns out you were your own. I'm not sure those were the loss of the men with guns either. They are all.
Then we'll be. The scruffy head.
Man, you're...
There's no...
The legend returns. You know the deal, legend man. Smoke...
Oh my god! Things have gotten out of hand! I thought the psychic stuff was bad, but the crime! It's even worse! I haven't been able to come to work for 3 days. The shop has... Oh my god! Even the police can't take care of all this. Just look at you. You're a wreck. Maybe I should close the bookstore and I could teach people to protect themselves against bad energies and to fight crime.
Yes, what Martinez really needs is more vigilance.
Exactly. It's a brilliant. In the meantime, do buy the books. As many as you can. Oh, I'm very sorry, sir. Some of these old paperbacks just don't have the durability. I would be happy to...
Hi, Ace Detective. Are you here for more book? Which book was it, sir? Oh, I'm very sorry, sir. I haven't read that one yet. I wish I could help you. Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a dye? Of course. Tell me what you have in mind. Ah, the Wirrow.
Ice.
I'm thinking something made from alligator jawbone, cast in black. It's an icositetrahedron, a 24-sided dye that can produce results for 2
Loving it. So nifty.
Untreated bone is porous and great. See you in 8 hours then. Was there anything else? I'm sorry. I'm a bit overloaded just now.
never find the answer. There's no other copy of Dick Mullen and the... because that's how the world works. Some stories never get finished. You shouldn't expect there to be a tidy, satisfying ending. There isn't. If only you had more time, more resources. Who knows what you could have come up with? Maybe if there had been more money and less speed. Hang on, you can do this. Use your imagination. You know who the suspects are. Just make it up. So, who killed Charlie Spillane and Deanna Denuva, detective? Just fucking pick one. Sounds good. You can't trust them. You've seen it yourself, haven't you? Maybe that cuts a little close to the bone. This coin-operated viewer, your money disappears. The curtains on the lenses, its leaves ripped from it by the winter wind. The little brave bird.
Can you tell? From this distance? I don't think it's possible.
It's not. The details are blurry. There's water vapor in the way and waves cut into the...
Give me a moment.
Oh, the god of dance is back! Oh, goodbye, officer. Yo, man.
Hardcore. Ouch. I did notice when I was 16 I used to date this guy who had a limp, but it only showed when he was sober. So I guess it wasn't real or something. I don't know. Anyway, shot in the leg? I'm sorry. Man, that must suck.
Yes, what is it?
The mother of humanism stamp. Why? That does seem to be I don't know. The mother of humanism.
Yes, we all are. Her name?
The woman looks by.
It's not spiritual.
Good morning!
A few poor thing. A metal payphone under a yellow plastic dome. There's a just dead horse.
happened?
You're not limping. You're you.
Everyone does that, in a way. You don't have to get shot for that. What happened to you anyway? We heard gunshots from the town.
There was an exchange of fire on Rue de Saint-Guylaine. It's nothing to be worried about.
So you're a killer? That's good, I guess. I guess. Better than being dead. Aye. I bet they are. That's nothing to brag about, officer.
It's not serious.
Of course. Can I? That won't be a problem. It's wind still and the tar just dried. We've got 2 days of relative sunshine ahead. If you promise to bring it back, and no scraping the hull, I just got it nice and yellow. And
Of course, ma'am.
aye. See, that makes me not want to lend you my skiff. On a boat, rocking leads to capsizing. That there is an absolute... I'm sad to hear that. Take care of that with ether, will you?
That's cool. You boasting your bacterial
Used to be some kind of fortification there before the war.
hasn't been there herself. Who?
My husband used to drink there. Him and his drinking buddies. Always.
This must be one of the many fortifications that was used.
The kids sometimes go there too. I know they do, on rafts. The twins. God forbid they bring the girl along on some rickety barge.
Can we maybe ask your twins?
Be my guest. They have a strange way of talking. See if you can get... Well, most of it's sunken. Underwater.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Please be conservative with the...
Aye, aye, Captain.
The scruffy-haired little boy
Aye,
kicks
aye,
the stone
Captain.
while the other watches him do it.
And that iron. That's, nothing. It's just a seafort and some plants. You can take a raft there. It's great. And we make a fire. We make a fire. Mm-hmm. Gather the sticks for the fire. And bullets. Or not real bullets, empty bullets.
Bullet shells. There are a lot of them left over from the war, but this could be...
I don't know what those are. They're lights. The fire guy comes and asks us to...
Your nerve endings sting from the mention of a gun. They must mean a human being on that island, but it's cut off.
No. Yes.
Let's go with yes.
Because he asks to put the fire out. I don't know. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like people to be there. Yes. I don't know.
Did you mean there are electrical?
Yes. No, he doesn't live there. I don't think. No, he lives there. Been there twice, 2 times. He doesn't live there. He isn't...
Anything else?
I don't know. We ran. He just yelled. Our father killed himself. Don't say that, he didn't.
A dull pain flashes through your mind.
I don't know. Doesn't even have anything to do with this, you. Father isn't the fire guy.
The two things are unconnected. Your question didn't make sense.
There's
Lights, fire guy. We should check up on that island.
A skiff with a small steering engine in the back floats on the calm. The boat's belly is a shiny yellow color, industrial paint over fresh tar. You see it reflect SRV made. This machine represents humanitarian aid from a workers' state on the Samaran Isola. The ROO logo on the engine gives it away. That and the white 5. Once you get in, that's it. One pull of the starter handle and you're off into the bay. A strange trepidation comes over you. Are you sure you want to go? Have you made all the necessary preparations? Closed all your accounts? Remember what the net picker said. It's a small tank. You won't be going back and forth on this.
It'll float. What? Fine. Let's blast SAD FM then.
SAD FM is a radio station specializing in sad, slow rock songs. You seem to know its frequency. The skiff floats on the calm
Bye bye,
of the sea.
Martinez.
Its 2 seats are. Once you get in, that's it. Have you made? Remember what the net. The skiff floats on. Once you get in, have you made? Remember what the net.
Want to be free. Want to be free. It will last forever. Eternally. Want to be free. Want to be free. It will last forever. Eternally. Want to be free. Want to be free.
我好喜欢这个画面。
It will last forever. Trees are green and overhanging, feather-light, free and everlasting.
黑的是石油吧？
The boat comes to a slow stop. The lieutenant turns the engine off. Then there's silence. In the silence, a sputter of wings. A flock of quails takes off in the distance. There is very little wind here today. The ghost is standing still. You look at your arms, then the cliffs above you. Let's go. The chain trails off into the ocean, connecting the island to the supply depot.
Ah, yes. For bringing munitions to the island, maybe? And supplies?
As a defensive measure, lock it off that.
From enemies. Enemies of the commune of Revachol.
The dry grass crackles under your feet as you stop. Far away, birds' wings touch the still surface. The flock of quail departs. Now more than 100 meters away, 102, 105. On the islet, there is almost no wind, just the light movement of air through the reeds. Bulrushes sway like a silent orchestra tuning, of great importance to the few who attend.
Yes? It is. Is that why we are stopping?
The lieutenant nods in silence. A silent hiss. Sea air moving through the needles of the faraway roar of the city, distant like today's dream. Before it, the sound of sand. A low hum. The air slowly moves through a concrete box. Air flows out of a pillbox window. There is very little. Col de Mamadakwa.
我这是什么玩意儿？
Yes? I have. Is that why we...
The lieutenant. An old cylindrical generator is the lieutenant puts.
It's cold now, but someone has been maintaining it. Downstairs, somewhere? Liquid carbon. I would imagine it takes mass. The kind that's favored by vagrants and fuel thieves. It's been a long winter, long and cold.
If anyone stayed here, they'd need a generator. The hollow ring, the canister is empty.
I don't know. I'm not a philosopher.
That is his idea of a joke. A
居然没有扣血。
minuscule bones may have fractured, but it proves the point. He nods approvingly. He even smiles.
Someone who has basic electrical skills has restored it in order to keep the room warm. Maybe
The wind outside picks up suddenly with a faint howl. There's a greasy old spring mattress in the corner, resting.
someone has been squatting here. The linen is fresh, recently washed.
You force the rest of the sentence out.
You know, officer, you can rest here if you are feeling tired. I will keep watch. You could use some rest for what's ahead.
You face the concrete wall. There's less light there, in the dark corner. Like a dog you love. The blanket feels cold. The entire room does. You feel yourself standing up in the darkness, right next to the mattress. Slowly, the world begins to hatch from the blackness. It's evening. Sleep.
"我操，这是什么地方？" What happened? "我去，对面是个什么？" "我操！"
Dolores Day, the innocence of humanism. internationalism and the welfare state turns around to face you. She has an airship airbag in her hand. She seeks off to advise the Queen of Shest, most likely. This is the Holy Suzerain of Muindi and Insulinda. Definitely not your wife. You need to talk to her. Think of the historical knowledge you could glean. I don't know, man. What is the Holy Suzerain doing here? Something seems off.
Hey. I mean, hey to you too. I'm doing really good, actually. Both professionally and romantically. I've come to a fulfilling and peaceful period in my life. Well, how are you doing, Harry?
How are you? Oh my god.
God, Harry. You have to take care of yourself. You're not a young man anymore. If you keep going like this, you'll...
Desperation is gearing up.
I'm sorry. I was heading to the aerodrome. I just don't have time.
She means she doesn't have time to tend to your emotions. She sighs and looks over her shoulder.
I'm going to Morova. To live there, in Grad. It's 1 million kilometers away, Harry. Might as well be another lifetime. Just my scepter, my globe cruciger, a spare silk gown, a toothbrush, travel documents, the crown of immortality. Oh, this. This is just a wreath. The crown of immortality is made of rarefied light, mana and raw palladium. It was passed on to me by the rulers of late antiquity.
那我要怎么把小雕像给他呢？
She looks at the suitcase, not knowing what more to say. Then, over her shoulder.
Anyway. No, Harry. No. I don't want a massive, epic showdown. I want to go to the aerodrome. I have tickets for the 10:20 flight to Morova. Really. We don't have anything to talk about anymore. Every combination of words has been played out. The atoms don't form us anymore. Us. Our love. Our unborn daughters. It's all gone. I have to go to the aerodrome. I have to leave Revachol and you. And you have to be alone. In hell. Forever. That's just the way it is.
Oh God, whatever you do, don't try to kiss her yet. Not after that. You're still reeling. You'll fall over if you try now.
It's not. But... I don't know why I said but. There is no but. That's it, yes. We've talked about it 1,000,000 times. You will get over it. Just like I did. People do. Things will get good for you again.
Where in hell? Oh yes, she'll come around now. I made her love you again, Harry. Her innocence, Dolores Day, fiddles with the handle of her airport bag. She has a pained expression on it. I don't understand. It was, she herself said.
We were bad for each other, okay? I was bad for you. Can you not see? I'm bad. I had to stop. I couldn't just turn into a bad person. You will get better. It just takes some time. For you, I think it will take something like 20 years, maybe? It was hard for me too, you know? I used to think I couldn't live without you. But I can. Yes. But yes. It only took me 1 year, maybe 2. Phew. No, Harry. We can't. We already tried again, and it didn't work.
Is that how it is now? We should just try all good things twice and then give up. By that logic.
Yes, of course. I'm bourgeois because I don't want to keep hurting you. I don't know. Please. Harry, we can't be together because you're insane.
She avoids turning them to you. They're turning moist now. Her eyes. She slowly shakes her head and tries to get hold of herself, brushing her hands in her gown.
You know what I mean. A little down. You've worked there for so long, you can't even talk like a normal person anymore. It's always lists with you. Questions.
Questions? Did someone say questions?
This is another list, isn't it? It's not just the lists. You get sad, Harry. Too sad. People can't get that sad. It's impossible to watch. Other people get sad too, but not like you. You stay down for too long. You only communicated with encyclopedic trivia. In conclusion, you're ill. You're an old, insane man. And you have to be in hell until the end of your life. And I have to go to Morova. I don't know what you mean. Dolores Day. The morning? I don't understand. Oh my god, Harry, stop. I don't want to hear anything about the morning. Mourning someone who's still alive. Any of that. I can't do that anymore. I'm not 80 years old, I'm 32. People my age are not supposed to mourn. Oh, Harry, you shouldn't have done that. Call me like that. They shouldn't have. They really shouldn't. I was in Morova already. Safe. In the warmth of the night. Wrapped in my future love. There, I think of you less and less. Whole weeks go by without me remembering you. Months already. Soon it will be years without the hurt. I sit there in Morova, in the holy gratitude of my bliss. I put my hand on my belly and smile.
The air gets cold around you. She looks down on her stomach, then up at you. Her eyes are full of tremendous distance and mystery. The death blow is coming. Black-eyed dogs wander the alleys. Apple trees hang their bony limbs low over the patchwork of roofs. Red and black. Revachol West, the evening sun. She's left and bloomed, far away from us, our vast soul.
我有瞬间觉得不选这个比较好，但是，我确实很想知道。
It's Dora. That's what the voice said on the phone. Dubois, yes. Dora Dubois.
Why what? Oh no. No. We're not doing that again.
That was not the death blow yet. You saved yourself. For now. Keep stumbling around and it will happen.
Wasn't I Dolores Day just a second ago? Now I'm the X thing? You're confusing me. I haven't even bought the tickets yet. My friends are waiting for me on the platform. I can't let them wait. It's impolite. I will. Yes, Harry. I am. Things have gotten much better for me, now that I am the ruler of the known world. Oh God, it's already so late. I have to go, Harry.
A tiny golden watch with red straps around her bony little wrist.
I don't want it. It looks expensive. I don't want it. That's not what figurines do, Harry.
She looks at the headless Found Rider between your fingers and doesn't know what the figurines don't do anything at all. But I thought the historic figure she had. Yes, I thought it would be good.
No, please. Please don't give me anything. Harry, I don't want things. I want to go to the aerodrome. I didn't ask for things. It's too late to give me anything. I would have liked these things a long time ago. The headless Fallen Rider especially. But now, only boring hell remains. We both said a lot of things. We were very young.
It was her. I can feel it. I can see it in her tender, long fingers, in her wrists. Her hand wrote it, said those things.
怎么会这么温柔呢？
As Queen Regnant, I write a lot of letters.
You need to recite it to her, for effect. All of it. No summaries. Yeah, put a stake through your heart. She'll get hurt too. Collateral damage. She won't get hurt. She'll bend out of the way.
Please, Harry, I just don't have time for this. Okay, stop. Yes. Are you happy now? Then why are you doing this? Very well. I wrote it. It was morning. You slept. There was hoarfrost on the ground when I left, on Voyager Road. It was autumn. The first autumn. But Harry, please understand. It was 1,000,000 years ago. No. It was 100 million years ago. I was someone else then. Filled to the brim with love for you. Hanging on your every word. Oh, Harry, you were the coolest. But I am no longer that person. This has taken her place. It will devour you. Harry, I will eat your mind.
The light of the video rental shines through her dress now. A DeLorean figure, cut in black, moves below. It's still her. Her legs, her breasts, her hips.
The coolest. With your leather jacket and your boot-cut pants. Smoking in the bus stop. I wanted you to be the rest of my life that day. And you were. Some of it, at least. You were my first. My first kiss. My first time to have sex. The first and worst time I fell in love. I will always have that with me. It's a fact. But that is all it is. It's like a ticket stub, Harry. Yes, let's talk about that too. Let's bring it up, the zoo. In Le Jardin, the day we went east of the river, to the aquarium first, I was sad about my mother. I don't even know why. The shimmer of the fish tank on my face, the octopuses. It was just a day then, but to think, were we there now, you could touch my hair, kiss me, talk to me about anything, go virtually anywhere in the world. Not like now. Now our interactions are limited to pain and regret.
That's sharp and precise. Why? There is still a way to win her back, you know. All you need to do is analyze.
为什么 analyze 翻译的是道歉？
It's here, Harry. We are on Voyager Road. At the end of it, 300 meters from the stop. We used to come here to rent videos. There, you could not pay the electrical bill. It became a lightless tomb. The years you spent training for the militia, my parents' money, it was not good. And my crown of immortality, no. You scared her out of me. With your crying, the awful time we wound up having, and the cheap rental flats you could afford. Can't you see? I can never think you're cool again. I can only think that way about new people.
A cheap rental with mold on the walls and the tap dripping.
Yes, I have found someone for whom I can feel the same. A copy of my love for you. Only this time he is careful and rich. He will not lose me. It will go somewhere. It will grow.
Your heart burns. Through the blackness, you feel the trickle of blood on the mattress below you.
Harry, do you notice how none of this is very funny? Stop laughing like that, please. It's scary. 42. That is the light rail that took me to Quran, to school and work. Every morning. It's the same stop I met you at, Harry. 100,000 million years ago. No human being should still remember the position of atoms such eons ago. It must feel unnaturally sad. A sadness so ancient, it is shared even by archaebacteria. Is there really anything left? If not, we can always repeat one of the things we have already talked about. Talk about it again.
Don't let her go there. You should redo the topics. Go over everything. The things you didn't say before, too. Make it go on and on.
That is very contested by modern historians. Very contested. Plus, you're only saying this because things didn't work out between us. I have to go to the aerodrome now. I don't have... You were very bad to me too. We've talked about it like 7 million times now. I don't want to do that anymore. I am actually very ordinary, Harry. Below this gown and wreath, I have an ordinary soul and ordinary thoughts. The only thing inhuman about me is this. This thing you've made me into. I'm sorry for saying so, but I just hate it. What is this? This is so far gone, Harry. I don't even... My lungs do not glow, Harry. I am just like all the others. None of us have glowing lungs. Stop making me into some kind of...
She will, once you have erected the Temple of Light.
An immortal temple of light. That sounds nice. I do want someone to do that for me. Who wouldn't? But not you. I don't want anything from you.
An apricot-scented ghost wafts out of her skin, the fabric, into the flow of the air around you. All the roads will miss her footsteps when she's gone from here. A completely different world. With your feet trembling from the steps you took, tepid and fearful, you stand against her, her body close to you, radiating warmth. With your eyes closed, you move your lips on her mouth. She is not kissing you back. Her hand does not return the grip. Her body is rigid. A current of unease courses through it. Distrust. For you. The curve of her spine, her shoulders hunched. She keeps herself stiff, her center guarded from your motions, unresponsive to your guidance. This was not about failure or success. This was always going to be horror. I should not have suggested it, and you should not have listened to me. Her chest rising like a pillow, warm exhalations against the side of your mouth, her tender soul moving through her lungs. Feels like soft fuzz, a bird covered in down feathers, brushing against your broken capillaries. The world's most precious material, reserved for those she lets close enough to feel it. You are stealing a touch. It's not yours to take. The delicate wreath on her forehead pressing into your temple. The silver is cold from the spring evening air. Nothing, just pillows against you. Unresponsive, but for the taste of apricots. Apricot-scented chewing gum. The moment is ending. She is going to move her face away from yours. Trying hard not to look at you. When she withdrew and you held on to her hand, she tried not to look at your face and see the expression there. Brother, you should put me in front of a firing squad. I have no words for how I failed you.
No, I'm just Dora.
She breathes out heavily, as if something painful has passed through her, and shakes her head. She shakes her head one more time. The evening wind rustles her hair, blowing old newspapers and fast food wrappings. She breathes. She shakes her. She breathes out. She shakes.
Why did you do that to yourself? You know I don't cheat, Harry. I never cheated on you. No, Harry. Not yet. There is one more thing you have to see. I'm pregnant. Yes, he did it. I terminated yours. Don't you remember, you poor fuck? You poverty-stricken fuck. Now, go ahead. Ask me more questions. Let's talk about something else.
No, this has to end. Do the last one.
I have to, Harry. Really, I've already missed the 8:30. I'm gonna go now.
Lies, sire. She cannot but love you. She has said so 100 times.
No, that would only be painful and dull. At the aerodrome, life, love, and laughter are waiting for me. At the cafeteria, dust, hell, and tragic comedy. Light, life, culture. It's so much better than here. Everything here reminds me of you and the horrible times we had. The nights we stayed up fighting for our dying love. I have to wipe it all off me and be clean again. I want to be a good person again. Not this. Not what you made me into. That was someone else. I betrayed her, overwrote her, and am happier for it. And I'm really going now. The time is up. I must be on the 10:20 flight. Yes. I won't see you, but you will see me. Oh, Harry. This is a dream. Can't you see? I'm already in Morova by now. Who knows how long ago this happened? A year? 2? 5 years ago? Right here, tomorrow night. Once this dream starts happening, it keeps happening. 3 times a week, at least. And Harry, it really, really looks like it started happening again. There's the video rental. I'm suffocatingly beautiful. And young. And I smell of tutti frutti chewing gum. Like I did that time when I asked you for forgiveness. After leaving you the first time. So long ago. Oh yes, this is real darkness. It's not death, or war, or child molestation. Real darkness has love for a face. The first death is in the heart, Harry. See you tomorrow.
You're up quick. How was your sleep? Of course. I was just thinking maybe you've torn your stitches. Are you ready to move on? Are you sure you're okay? You thrashed around and you bolted up, halfway covered in blood from your wounds. I did not want to wake you. Perhaps I should have? Was it a job dream?
The lieutenant nods solemnly.
Okay.
He's still worried. You must have really thrashed and squealed in your sleep.
Yes?
Books and magazines, most are soft covers. Popular depictions of man versus nature among what is mostly commercial fiction and
Someone's made themselves a home.
Not that you can tell. This, maybe it's a little old-fashioned. The print in some of these is pretty smooth. Soft covers,
我真服了，标新立异怎么回事？
soft covers. You see a small metal door.
Another part of the island, probably. Maybe this is one of the doors we don't.
He's right. It would be better to open its big brother. A powerful engine hangs under the ceiling.
I think there's a console just southeast. Let's look around. Getting the blast door open seems like the...
Soft covers, serialized fantastique, and oh yes, under the bed, there is a rather extensive collection of critical theory, that is, dour, life non-affirming left-wing literature, published by small imprints such as Abattoir Firm and Ouzia. It's not exactly like
Ouzia. I agree. Humanitarian sciences.
Your incendiary. Wasn't there some in the communist students' room?
Well, yes. That one student.
The little books seem inconsequential.
Again, I am not a philosopher, but whoever.
Interesting. Green paint flecks off the monoblock. The keys rattle like
the console of an anti-computation device. Possibly. Urgence ou...
This device was used to control the electronics in the room. It could open doors. Nothing happens.
We need to restore power before using... We should look around outside. There are...
The boat engine.
But officer, then we would have to swim back to the mainland. Let's just look...
The console stands by. Mute. The dial slides under the glass. An idea lights up in your head.
This is an air-gapped system. Of air, I think they could. No, I'm not. But it would not be very good military technology if programmer ladies...
A strange feeling looking at the water. Maybe, perhaps there's someone there, under the water, waiting for you, where it has always been, in front of the video rental, on the corner, at the crossing, smelling of tutti frutti, and, baby, you know it's going to hurt. Yes, cold and still, but love is warm, like the inside of her mouth. Oh fuck, yes. Go there in your head. It's been days since in the still mirror of the bay you see Martinez. Islets and posts, like stepping stones. Yes, 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 yes. There's a rain-soaked mattress on a
B triple prime. This looks like a good place to shoot from.
A single-person mattress, modern, and an empty can of beans on the ground. The silhouette of a tobacco picker adorns the paper filter. The brand...
I may have been wrong when I said it wasn't important. I didn't see any signs of smoking inside, though. If people...
There's a firing slit in the wall, and quite old and grimy from years. The springs screech as you lean on the mattress and crack. A small piece of Martinez coastline opens up in the square in front of you, like a towering skyscraper, its top floors shaved off by the red chimney and collapsed back of the box-shaped silhouette of the whirling in rags. Its sloped roof, a tiny fleck of light catches.
What? Do you have a...
What are you talking about? Can't be certain. It's certain.
A pair of binoculars? Or a scope of a rifle? You'd be prone.
Cheek against the cheek rest. Hand on the head.
Good. I think we have it, Detective. The origin of the shot. This is the sniper's...
Affirmative.
In our defense, nothing pointed here. Many leads pointed elsewhere. Don't beat yourself up, officer. We did not put guns in their hands.
The lieutenant pauses. Regret comes over him.
We will make up for it. Here. Where?
He does not answer. Just nod.
We should move now.